guys should be at peace. Right? You should be at peace right now because you know you did everything. And the guys that haven't done everything they could all season long, those are the guys that should be nervous. And you should be able to take the mat and be ready for war, right? Be ready for a battle, but not be fearful. You should have a lot of freedom, right? Because you know you did everything. We've had a wonderful season, and you've been challenged all season long to prepare you for this opportunity. Be fearless, get after it, right? Enjoy yourself, and I'm telling you, guys who win the postseason go out there and score points, right? Be active, and just like Greg said, attack this. Let's go. Leadership is really important, right? There's only so much coaches can do, and we really had some strong leadership on this team. There's no surprise that there was going to be a bit of a hole, and we have Vito returning, and Vito does a wonderful job as well. But you know, we had two strong leaders in Vito and Yanni, and then who's going to step up? And I think that Julien did.
I think I best impact this team through leadership. You know, a lot of the guys look up to me. I'm one of the older people on the team, and I've had a lot of experience.
I think that Julien solidified himself as the other, super quality leader.
Julien's like, an older brother to me. I kind of like to break it down to a family setting, but me and Julien are, that 1-2 punch, 57 to 65. So he's just kind of a guy that I like to be around because, when I get help from him, I feel like I'm doing the right thing.
Very proud of his development. I think, it's something that he should, and I know he does, take a lot of pride in. Putting great effort in and leaning into your team to be able to do really special things is something to take a lot of pride in.
You don't want to be the leader that everyone only listens to you because they have to. You want everyone to listen to you because they want to. Having my team look up to me is pretty much what I strive for to be as a leader. Having all these guys come in and talk about how my leadership has impacted them, that means so much.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, we knew we had a great team. We thought that we had, possibly, one of the best teams in Cornell history. And we ended up having a team that it might be a different path, but ended up being that. The team that was the first to have all 10 qualify.
Being a part of the first team to qualify 10 wrestlers for nationals is huge. It's a really good experience to kind of go to a tournament like that with your whole team. And looking back, as I get older, will likely be a really awesome experience to look up at the Baniters every time I come back and see that was my team, and just be proud of how well we performed.
It was super cool being able to, I guess, emerging, for myself. But, I always knew, deep down in my heart that I belong here. And I've noticed myself, I always end up working hard and being the best worker in the room. So I knew coming into the season that I deserved to have the spot, and I deserved to be an NCAA qualifier. And, next year, I know I deserve to be an All-American.
Super meaningful in the sense that I feel like Cornell Wrestling has given me an immense amount. And being able to be a part of the team that helped accomplish a goal that they have never done before, I feel like is my way of giving back. And I also think, and Coach Gray talks about it all the time, having 10 guys at the NCAA tournament is a special thing.
That was amazing. And sometimes I don't even recognize or appreciate that fact, but that is a super cool thing to be a part of, And I'm so thankful that I could get it done at the IWAs, place third, get all of us there. In the rankings, not expected to go to NCAAs. I was thinking about that, but I also believed that I could do it.
Yeah, I was right mat side watching Benny's match against Canigliaro. And that's just a match that I wanted to see all year, because he's the guy in the Ivy League at his weight. So I've been telling all year, yo, you need to beat that guy. You're gonna beat that guy.
I feel if I didn't do my part, we wouldn't have won the last EIWAs as a team. At the end of the day, just incredibly grateful to have been a part of that. I just think about those moments. There's just so much adrenaline. I was so happy. So it's just such a good feeling. I remember looking back and everybody was just going crazy.
I didn't even think about it that he secured the 10th spot. I was just so happy that he finally broke through for like a top, that was number 5 I think at the time. And Benny's my guy, man. He's been my best friend since freshman year. We've been rooming together this past year.
Definitely a moment that I'm gonna hold on to, remember, and just be so thankful for that moment.
Wrestling Kansas City and at the national tournament is one of the coolest experiences ever. To be able to go out on the mat and compete for a national title, watching my teammates do it and being in that environment with them was tremendous. Just to see how hardworking the guys were the whole year to lead up to that moment. It really kind of puts a lot of weight on it, and there's no other tournament in the world, I think, that's like the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that first day, I was really excited to compete. It's funny, when I first went out to my first match, I'm warming up in the tunnel before that, and then I walk out and I see all the people, and when I went out there, I felt like, I got a little bit of a roar of a crowd, and some people were pretty excited to watch me wrestle. So I think that first day was just a lot of, just excitement from my whole life, and just being able to go out to that tournament and to grow up watching a tournament like that, and then to be able to just be a part of it is pretty crazy. I was very excited and just, almost, starstruck with the whole thing.
First round, I drew Dean Peterson from Rutgers. I grew up in New Jersey, pretty close to Rutgers, and I actually have wrestled Dean in high school my freshman year, and we had a really close match then. So going into that match, I knew I had to stay low because he's really explosive on his feet. I was able to shut down all of his offense and getting on a few attacks of my own, but he was really stingy in his defense. Kind of dragged the match longer than I probably should have, but it ended up going into tiebreakers where I was able to ride him out for the whole period and kind of just stay locked in on top and focus, and was able to get the gritty one out like I usually like to do.
Yeah, that match with Franklin Marshall, that first round of NCAAs, was definitely tough. I went in there with a different mindset. I was trying to protect something, whatever it was. Wrestled good for about 5 minutes. I wrestled for about 5 minutes. The last 2 kind of sat back and just let him dictate the pace, and then ended up paying for it in the last second of the match, which hurt real bad. Especially at the national tournament, you can't stop until the whistle's blown. You got to wrestle all 7. But yeah, no, that definitely hurt. That you're walking off the mat after a tough one like that, then your mindset kind of shifts that you're no longer going to be a national champ for that year. So how you take that, how you bounce back is going to dictate what you can do for your team.
To the round of 16 against Penn State, the number 1 seed, Braden Davis. I felt pretty confident, but just couldn't really get my offense going on my feet. He was able to get the edge on me by riding time. My mindset after that was really I tried to just forget about it, and I knew I was going to have a tough match right out the gate against Michigan, Michael DiAugustino, so I really couldn't feel sorry for myself too long.
Now that that's out of the way, you lost your first one, you're not going to be the national champ for the year. It definitely hurts, but a lot of guys could use that as a cop-out. A lot of guys take that as an excuse, but I know that we're in a tight team race. I got so much more. It's bigger than me at this point, and it always was, but now that I'm on the backside, those points add up, those points accumulate. Whatever I can do on the backside is going to be huge for this team race. And I started thinking to myself, just score points, just let it fly. Whatever happened before, it doesn't matter. Whatever is ahead is what you got to focus on. I come back first round against the George Mason kid. I tech-falled him. Then the next round was against the Columbia guy who had given me problems all year, which was big, and I was able to get that one done. Moved forward to Michigan, and I got the major decision. In terms of team points, it wasn't really a question. I could have sat back in a few of them and just kind of let the match play out, but I'd really just had nothing to lose in my mind at that point, so just figured I'd hit it hard.
Having a seasoned veteran, especially like Michael DiAugustino, I knew he's been at the NCAAs a bunch. He's returning All-American and all that. And Michigan was right on our heels basically. So getting the win over him was very crucial because I was able to put an end to his run where maybe he could have wrestled back a few more matches. And it was a great win. I was proud of how I competed there, and it kind of got me back on my feet, got me feeling confident again.
One of the blood round, that felt good because I wrestled all the way back and placed, and then pinned the next guy the next match. I didn't know we were in the race till like my 3rd and 4th match. Yeah, it was funny. I pinned the kid, and I kind of took over my dad. My dad's the first person I saw, and I just started laughing just because, I don't know, it was just a funny way to, win the match.
Going into that match, Very excited, got to re-wrestle a guy I lost to earlier this year. Got the first takedown, end of the first, and ended up hitting my head in the middle of the second, and was really just kind of out of it. More of it was just like I was just kind of stunned. Knocked my mouthpiece out, kind of split my chin, and had no really idea what was going on. And our trainer came over and was like, "Hey, you want to get out of here?" And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds really nice right now." And by the time that I came back, I was just, kind of lost some of the adrenaline, some of the juice. Right after I lost, I'm just sitting there with the towel over my head, kind of head still hurts, and I'm just thinking like, wow, that was it. Earlier this year, I lost to the kid, and I'm devastated. I'm crying, I'm throwing a hissy fit, and then I lose the second time, and I'm more of just like, wow, like that was it, man. But from there on out, I just thought, I had to be bigger than myself, and had to put a kind of show on for my team, and just really just help my team out in the best way that possible, and that was getting third place.
Semifinals, I got my rematch with Ryan Crookham, Lehigh. I'm plagued with injuries this season. Definitely a new experience for me, something that I've never had to deal with. So it was definitely very scary because it made it so I couldn't do the things that I was good at. It just so happened that, I started to feel that recovery kind of at the last second. The 2 weeks between EIWAs and NCAAs is when I actually started to feel the most recovered I had been the whole season. When we wrestled EIWAs, I was still kind of guarding myself. I didn't want to get injured again, but I thought I wrestled the match pretty well. There was a point though that I realized, I think I was being a little too cocky. I am trying to chase him. I'm just kind of trying to get after it, and that's when he stings me. Right, I get a little out of position. I'm chasing, get extended, and he got in on a good attack. That was a strategic loss. The approach to it was much different. It really came down to I was feeling healthy. I was feeling a little bit more like myself. I could hit the moves that I wanted to hit. It's hard to wrestle when you can't get your head involved. So I got my head involved. I was aware of what he was good at that point.
He was very aggressive. He wasn't passive. He was taking head position, hand position, mat placement, everything. He was the aggressor, 100%. And make no mistake about it, it might be a different style, but he's a world champion. He was eager to show people when he is healthy and he feels good that there's nobody that can wrestle with him.
I definitely think he was a bit surprised because previous to that, he wrestled the two worst possible versions of me. So he must think that he, defeated the champ, and then the champ showed up, and it was not what he was expecting.
I think Meyer, I think this whole year was just really a crash course in the maturing process, so to speak. I think that if you look at his results in Vegas, and then you look at his results in the NCAA tournament, you can see crystal clear that he developed, that he learned how to deal with adversity and come back and not let it, define you and set you back.
So Bryce, someone I was really looking forward to competing against, wrestled him 3 times. The first time we had a match, it was very exciting. And the second time we wrestled, he actually got hurt. So I knew the third time that he was going to be coming with a lot of energy. I knew the kid was ready for the tournament, and I knew who he was really ready for, and that was me. So just being able to, get a win like that, to defensive pin someone and basically just stop the whole momentum of the match, which was going crazy, was just unreal.
I mean, I kind of figured that match was going to end in pin. I was hoping it was, Meyer getting the pin, but it was awesome. We were pushing for third and even second at that time, so him getting that pin was huge, and we needed it.
When I got the pin, it was almost a sigh of relief, just like, wow, like, I get an hour break before I wrestle now. That's awesome. I don't have to be sad and wrestle. I can be happy.
And I think if you look at, the adversity that he overcame, to be able to come back and take third, it would do more good for him than winning the tournament, to be honest with you, right? So, being able to take the lessons that you learn from setback and use them to propel you forward is, what Meyer got this year at the NCAA tournament.
On the backside of the tournament, it was a lot easier to go out there and just compete and be Meyer Shapiro instead of me wrestling on the front side where I'm just trying to be an NCAA champion. I'm trying to find a way to the finals. Definitely that last match was really just me being the wrestler I am, that unique unorthodox style, and wrestling hard and kind of showing him that those first 2 times are flukes.
I think that match I just wrestled a little more calm. I wrestled more focused, and you know, I wasn't affected by the environment as much, which I needed to work on. But it felt good. You know, I got my revenge back. It was a good match. I think I wrestled pretty well and had Rocky the next match. So I mean, it's good. It's good that I got to get him back in the tournament. That's, you know, always a good thing. But you know, it's like you say you're All-American once, and it's like, you know, you did that your sophomore year and you never did it again. It's like 2-time All-American. Like, I don't know, just sounds good. You know, it kind of rolls off the tongue nice.
I guess if you're talking goals for the year, you know, you want to have national champions.
In the finals, I had Dayton Fix. You know, I was a little nervous. You know, he had a lot to prove. He definitely wanted that win very badly. He has that drive to go out on top, right? But so do I. Yeah, you just get these jitters. You know, you can't really focus. You know, and that's when all the work and training that I did last year really kicks in. You know, nervous. This is, and then and now, you know, there's nothing on my mind. But if you put a person in front of me and, you know, blow the whistle, like, we're gonna fight.
We talk a lot about the Big Ten Conference and how great it is, but we got a guy from the IWA and the Big 12 here. NCAA champion, 3-time runner-up. What a great matchup we got here. We're in for a treat.
You know, it was not a usual match. There were a lot of stoppages, the blood, the challenges, this, that.
One other match I've been part of like that, in the national finals, I should say, live primetime TV, that's a different animal, right? So I think that, you know, we'll say mental conditioning and mental training that he's done in the last year prepared him for that in a different way. What we saw in the national finals this year was his ability to bring himself back to focus and to bring himself to a calm state of mind so then he could continue to execute at a very high level.
I'm focusing on my cues, my things. You know, if you see me do like that slow little walk with my hands and my feet kind of synchronized, like, that's me focusing in on, like, my body. You know, I have a couple words that I use, like, you know, breathe, reset, and then kind of come back to my center and get back into that place where I'm ready to compete again. You know, I was prepared for that. I wasn't expecting that, but I was prepared.
Now, but he's already got himself a one stalling call in the first period, and Vito back to the leg.
On the edge,
nothing yet. Goes with the roll, finds himself out of bounds. Wow.
Vito's offense is on point now. But he's on the edge again. Fix trying to get out. This is high-level wrestling right here. DC, you nailed it. This is high-level, elite, world championship type of wrestling.
This is that gentleman's agreement at the end of the second. We're like, we'll settle this in the third.
During the third period, there was a lot of controversy, we'll say. I believe I took the shot. It was maybe a re-attack or a double leg, and I ended up with both his feet, and he hit his butt. And he ended up getting into, like, kind of a seated position. I had the foot, and I look over to the ref, and the ref is counting. If he gets to 5, because I'm below the knee, he's gonna hit me for stalling. I probably don't have enough time. I only have 2 seconds to try to build and get up to the hip. So obviously I'm just gonna go out of bounds. And then the ref goes, no takedown. And then I stand up and yell at him. I say, you can't do that. Got in his face a little bit and started yelling and kind of losing my shit.
Okay, and riding time not a factor. Oh. Vito, that's an undisputed.
And it was emotional. It was just all these feelings. Mike just, you know, grabs me and goes, hey, down and away, 15 seconds.
No, I just said, you know, you're winning and there's 15 seconds left. You need to not let your aggression, you know, do you in, right? So it's just like, listen, there's 15 seconds left, everything's down and away.
I'm like, there's 15 seconds left to settle this right now. Then finally we got around to doing it. So, you know, and then down and away, 15 seconds. I just, you know, kind of coasted. It was an absolutely crazy match and one that, you know, probably people won't forget for a while.
And Vito Arujau is the national champion here in Kansas City.
And you gotta love it. You gotta respect this man. He had some early season woes, but he finds himself on top of the world as he bows to the crowd.
How would you best describe the circus that was that match?
You know, it was just, I'm not quite sure how to put it. Felt like I wasn't supposed to win that. They're really trying not to let me win that. and I really didn't care. I wanted to win it, so I did.
I may have said some things on that interview immediately following that I wasn't like super aware of what I was saying, because I was drained. But you know, at the same time, I'm happy to share that moment with everyone that's kind of around me. You know, my family's there. You know, I love to see that they're a part of it, and then all of my teammates and just the Cornell crowd section is just it's amazing. So I'm super thankful.
I mean, this team is the family that's not blood, right?
This team has helped me grow, and it's shaped me into the man I am today.
There's no really other family in NCAA wrestling like Cornell Wrestling.